turn it off, turn it back on, and it'll do it. Okay. All right, here we go. Obviously, as you can tell, this is very low budget video work, and for a reason, but it covers all of the points that you need to know. So this is the second video of the training. Just got a few more minutes and a few things to cover. So you would need to take those maps and return them to the supervisor at the end of your route. Now, communication is very important, that you're communicating with us, any issues or anything we need to be aware of. If you need to get a hold of your crew supervisor, generally we prefer that you use texting to communicate with them. If you need to get a hold of myself, you'd be provided with a contact number. You can call me directly. Obviously, if it is an urgent matter, feel free to call your shift supervisor or myself, or you'll be given instructions depending on the delivery we're doing of who you would contact. We'd want to hear of any problems or issues or difficulties from you. We don't want to hear from a homeowner that maybe there was an event that we need to be aware of, somebody stepped on a prized rose bush, or whatever the case may be. If there's a problem that comes up, make sure you tell us directly, and that we can solve it if we need to. Obviously, if there's a medical emergency while you're out delivering, call 911 first, and they'll be able to get you the help that you need. Okay, so let's kind of summarize some of the things that we've talked about in the previous video. So, if you are in a neighborhood, and this is kind of just a real quick, this is a quiz that we kind of put together. They kind of seem like silly questions, and really when it comes right down to it, the safety guidelines we have in place are just common sense. It's just a common sense way to react to maybe a situation you might find yourself in. If you see a dog that makes you nervous wandering in a neighborhood, what do you do? Dogs really can be kind of an issue. In my experience, if I feel uncomfortable about a dog that I see that's maybe off leash or wandering the neighborhoods, I'll kind of reroute myself. It's a case-by-case basis. It's not uncommon I see little tiny dogs out there walking around. That's obviously not something to worry about. If you approach a house and a dog is tethered to the front porch or sitting on the front porch, something like that, I would skip the home. If a door is open when you walk up to a residence, what do you do? Since you'll be keeping track of kind of your surroundings and things like that, if you come up to an open door of a residence, I generally just skip it so as not to startle or surprise someone. A home says no soliciting on the door. This particular activity of distributing material does not fall under soliciting. Soliciting would require knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, trying to engage in a sales conversation with the homeowner. So if a home says no soliciting, you're fine to put the piece on the front door as instructed. Okay, if you enter into a neighborhood that makes you feel uncomfortable, once again, you can leave, make your supervisor aware of it, send them a text, say, I just didn't like this particular area, I'm going to go to another one. And if we need to get you a new map for a new area, we can definitely make that happen. If you walk up to a door without a doorknob, what should you do? This is actually a little bit more common than you might think. First and foremost, we want the door hanger hung on the front door knob. If there's no way to attach the door hanger, we want you to stand the piece up against the front door on the porch, so it's easy for them to still see. If someone is in their yard, now especially on Saturdays, it's not uncommon the homeowner will be out in their yard or in the garage washing car, anything like that. This is completely left up to your judgment. Some runners don't feel like they want to talk to anybody, and you certainly don't have to. If you do, and I always do, I'll walk up to them, just extend my hand with the door hanger and say, hey, can I leave this with you? Almost always they'll say yes, thank you, and they'll take the piece from you. If they say no, just move on to the next. You're not trying to coerce them or sell them or convince them to take the piece. You're just offering it to them, and if they don't want it, move on. Okay. A home is gated and the gate is open. What should you do? We really don't want any runners entering into a fully gated home. Go ahead and leave the piece on the gate. Generally, the material we give you to disperse It's a pretty good card stock, and if you need to, you can roll it up or double it up, as long as it's on the gate. Okay, if there's a storm door and you can't seem to just hang the door hanger. Storm doors, we don't want anybody opening up the storm door and to access the main door. See if you can use the latch on the door, on the storm door, to hang the piece. Most of them can. If it's got that open hook at the bottom, once again you can double over the cardstock door hanger and put it in there, and it's got enough tension to hold itself there. Mailboxes, we never hang anything on mailboxes ever. It's got to be on the front door or standing on the front door. Anything on the mailbox, postmasters will call, they will complain that that will be problematic. We will be able to know exactly which house got it and which runner delivered it, and possible termination may occur. So mailboxes are always left alone, absolutely no exceptions. There's some, once again, any kind of emergency that's life-threatening, make sure you call 911 first, and then do your best to contact a supervisor so we're aware of what's going on. Businesses, it's not uncommon to be delivering a neighborhood and there's an adjacent business. All of our material, almost without exception, will only go to homes, homeowners, and never a business. We want to stay away from any business development whatsoever. Ultimately, once again, safety and distribution is common sense. The parameters of different distributions will change. You will be given instructions as to what exactly you need to do for a specific job, and you're always open to ask questions and assistance and things like that. So we want to make sure that you're efficient and successful at this and make as much money as you can. One final thing, how much time do we have?
We still have 3 minutes.
3 minutes, okay. Want to go over a little bit on routing. We've got a map right here, and this can really make a difference on how efficient you are. Occasionally, with new runners, they won't put much thought and effort into how they're going to route themselves, and they end up going off in awkward and weird routes, run out of material, and they're far away from their car to access more material, and they just burn up a lot of time. So as we said earlier, what you want to do is take a minute, look at your map, establish where you want to be, always look for kind of a center point, and try and create a boomerang type pattern that you could go out and come back and go out and come back again, and really spend as little amount of time in your car as possible. So on this particular map, and hopefully you can see this pretty good, but what I would do is I would look at this map for a second, find out where I need to park my car, or if I'm in a group, drop off a group member, and start looking at a way. Is this one going to work? Okay, so I would come pretty much here to about the center. In this case, I would probably start right about the center, and I'd start coming down. Got a cul-de-sac here. I'd come down, and in this case, I'd probably come back up and around, come up in here, back out, back into the cul-de-sac here. Generally, with the material that we have, you should be able to carry at least 200 units, which is going to last you, like I said, up to about an hour. A lot of the maps we have plats on them, and some of our ambitious runners feel like counting things up. I would come back up to here, and I'd start heading my way back to the car. That's probably a way that I would try. Now, it's okay if in your planning session you kind of get a little bit lost. Just kind of start over. Each neighborhood's a little bit different. You'll just have to gain some experience that way. But taking a little time and planning yourself goes a long way at the end of the day for how many units that you can deliver.
Stay in your area.
So, what's that?
Stay in their area, and then we got,
oh, and you know,
10 seconds about.
The maps, as I said, he's going to have a border around it. You want to stay in your area. You know, there's some other streets just beyond this that's deliverable area, but it's outside of this map, and so you definitely want to, you know, make sure that you stay on these streets that are identified here. So once again, thanks for watching this training video. We'll hope to see you soon.